Scott Atherton, president of Panoz Race Group, on how a test drive at the American Le Mans Series provided data showing an isobutanol race car can keep up with a pack.
Isobutanol was first brought to our attention about midway through 2009, and it was a combination of Mazda, who is a long-standing manufacturer competing in the American Le Mans Series, and their fuel partner, BP. And at the time that they approached us, we prided ourselves on the diversity of our alternative fuels. All the cars competing in the American Le Mans Series compete with some form of alternative fuel. At the beginning end of the spectrum, it's an E10 gasoline choice, 10% ethanol. The other alternative is a zero sulfur clean diesel, which the Audis and the Peugeots are competing with. The ethanol option we have is a cellulosic E85. So it's very consistent with the E85 product that has been most predominantly marketed here in North America, with the added benefit of being a second generation product not made from any food-based source. So isobutanol was brought to our attention, wasn't part of our current rule book, and the opportunity was there to allow the car to compete but not be classified. And in our rule book, we can allow technologies to be showcased, featured on the racetrack, but when there isn't a high level of understanding of the technical ramifications of that technology in terms of an advantage or a disadvantage, the only way that we can retain the integrity of the championship would be to allow that technology but not have it be competing for points or for championships. So that's what occurred in the last two races of last year. That afforded us the opportunity to gather a tremendous amount of data. How does isobutanol measure up to the other alternative fuel examples that we had already in existence? Through that analysis of the data extracted from those two races, we were able to write a technical specification that enabled isobutanol to become the next most recent addition to our alternative fuel choices. So beginning in 2010, isobutanol now is one of several choices, the others I've already described, that teams can elect to compete with. And the early indications are that it's a fuel that mimics the characteristics of gasoline, but provides the energy and the logistical ease of use with its form of being a renewable biofuel. By what I'm referencing there are other biofuels which achieve many of the goals that are sought after, renewable, friendlier to the environment, but they do have their limitations in terms of the logistical utilization of that fuel. In other words, all of the infrastructure that is currently in place for gasoline products, petroleum products, is compromised with higher levels of this biofuel choices that are out there, like ethanol. Butanol, as it's been described to me, and I'm the first person to admit that I'm not the expert, I just know enough to be able to talk somewhat intelligently about it, overcomes some of those shortcomings. And it's a great point of pride for us that for most of the population, the first time they've ever heard the word isobutanol is a result of it being in a race car competing in the American Le Mans Series. So when we talk to our friends at the Department of Energy and we ask the question, is isobutanol potentially a relevant consumer fuel? The response is absolutely. So we're on the very leading edge of introducing this new alternative fuel to the consumer